So, hello students. So, until previous classes, we had completed the concept of electric potential and electric potential energy. We did some problems regarding electric potential energy. हमने कुछ problems भी किए थे, एक दो problems भी किए थे. So, for today, we shall be learning a new topic, not a new topic in electrostatics. Okay, it is still a topic in electrostatics, but it's a fresh concept. Okay, कोई इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक का ही कॉन्सेप्ट है, कोई नया अभी टॉपिक आया नहीं है. इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स अभी चल रहा है. सो लेट अस जस्ट स्टार्ट द टॉपिक. बट बिफोर दैट, okay, let me name that topic. The name of the topic is capacitance. The name of the topic is capacitance. So I am writing it, capacitance. So you can see that, आप ये देख सकते हैं कि ये वर्ड कहाँ से आया है. So you have come across the word capacity. Okay, you have come across the word capacity various times. So in this case also, it also means the same thing. So to understand capacitance, we need to understand something else. Okay, so first of all, we shall be understanding the concept of insulators and conductors. The concept of insulators and conductors. Okay, so I am just rubbing this off. So let us just understand the concept of conductors and insulators. You need not go in details. Okay, now for now you need not go through these things in details, and you have also read solid state physics, solid state in chemistry as well. You have read solid state in chemistry as well, and you know, if you have read solid state in chemistry, so it is not going to be a detailed लेक्चर. सो ये कोई डिटेल सा लेक्चर नहीं होने वाला है. सो हम ऐसे ही समझेंगे कि इंसुलेटर को किसे कहते हैं और कंडक्टर को किसे कहते हैं. ओके, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, एज वी नो व्हाट इज एन इंसुलेटर एंड व्हाट इज ए कंडक्टर. सो व्हाट आर दीज टर्म्स इन हिंदी. हिंदी में कंडक्टर को बोलते हैं सुचालक. ओके, यू हैव हर्ड द नेम सुचालक क्वाइट ऑफन. एंड हिंदी में ही इंसुलेटर को बोलते हैं कुचालक. ओके, वन इज सुचालक, द अदर इज कुचालक. एंड इन ओडिया, since I am from Odisha, I am going to speak to you about these words. What is an insulator called in Odia language? Odia language रे कौन को आ जाए, ओडिया भाषा रे कौन को आ जाए इंसुलेटर कुपरिबाही. ओके, दिस इज a single term, single word, kuparibahi, and conductor is called suparibahi. Okay, so if you are Hindi medium students or Odia medium students, even if you are an English medium student, you should know about these words, these small words, because they come in very handy in writing if you are interested in any competitive exams. So in your regional language, so these things come in quite handy. Okay, so let us just understand the concept of these things as we have simply learned in class 8th or 9th. So what is an insulator and what is a conductor? So anything is composed of atom. Anything is composed of atom. So what is an atom composed of? एक एटम किससे बना होता है? So an atom consists of a central core. It is a positively charged core which is called nucleus. We call it a nucleus. The central thing in an atom is called its nucleus, and some electrons are revolving around it in practically circular orbits. Electrons उसके चारों ओर ऐसे ही दौड़े लगा रहे हैं. If it is a nucleus, then electrons are going in these circular orbits. These are not two-dimensional thing. This is a 3D thing. Okay, so the outermost electrons, okay, the outermost electrons, if it is the innermost or it is the outermost orbit, then the electron in this orbit, revolving in this orbit, is the outermost electron. It's somehow loosely connected to the nucleus. Loosely not connected, it is loosely or loosely bound to the nucleus. That means it is the least attracted electron to the nucleus. So sometimes it happens it comes if the atom is subjected to any external field like heat or given any energy, or like it's kept in an electric field, the outermost electron is somehow get detached from the core. The outermost electron somehow gets detached from the core and becomes free. Becomes free. And these electrons are called free electrons. They can get out of the atom and move randomly inside of a substance. If it is a substance, if it is a substance, or it is a piece of matter, any object. So I have enlarged this atom. Okay, I have enlarged this atom. There are numerous number of atoms in this substance, and if every atom loses one electronic or electron, so charge are moving randomly in that substance. The charges are moving randomly in that substance. Now, some substances allow free motion of these charges. Some substances have the capacity to allow the motion of the free electron charges throughout that substance. कुछ substance में कुछ capacity होता है कि इन्हीं free electron को randomly move कराने की, और these free electrons can move randomly inside that of a substance. And in some substances they restrict the flow. They restrict the flow due to availability of free electrons. Due to availability of free electrons. Sometimes क्या होता है, जब ऐसे ही free electrons बहुत available होते हैं और वो मूव कर पाते हैं, that means it contains a lot of free electrons and they are capable of carrying the charges from here to there, from here to there, from here to there, or any place else. Okay, but in some cases, कुछ ऐसे भी केसेस होते हैं, कुछ ऐसे भी सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं, वहां क्या होता है, that atom and that outermost electrons are very tightly bound to each other. They are very tightly bound to each other, and due to this thing, there are a few electrons available for the conduction of the charges from this place to this place. Okay, but in the same case, if there are so many electrons available for a substances, they are just randomly moving in the inside of that substance. Okay, so this was what we were talking about. Now let us come to the concept. So you have understood that how is free electron available or what is bound electron. So now come to the case of conductors and insulators. So conductors क्या होता है, those substances which allow the smooth passage of electrons inside them. Okay, so conductors, what are conductors? They allow, these are the substances which allow the smooth passage of charges. Okay, the smooth passage of charges through them. Charges through them, not electrons. Okay, charges, because charge can be contained by anything. So they allow the smooth passage of charges through them. And what are the ये एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ कंडक्टर, कंडक्टर्स का और सुपरिवाही और सुचालक का कोई एग्जाम्पल आप बता सकते हैं? दैट मेटल्स लाइक सिल्वर, metals like silver, copper, iron, and many of these things, they allow the smooth passage of charges through them, hence they are named conductor. Silver is the best conductor we have till now. Okay, so and also non-metals like graphite also conducts electricity very smoothly. Now let us come to insulators. So what are insulators? They do not allow the smooth passage of charges. Insulators, they do not allow the smooth passage of charges. The smooth passage of charges which you shall be assuming that they do not even allow any passage of charges. Smooth, they don't allow the smooth passage of charges. Okay. That means they have charges, but they aren't quite able to move, or the charges are not quite able to move from one point of that object to any other point. Okay. So what are the examples? You can name glass is an example of insulator, quartz is an example of insulator, and many more such examples. Now in case of conductors, since there are a lot of electrons available, free charges are available plenty in plenty. You can add free charges are available in plenty in case of conductors. Available in plenty. There are so many free charges. Sometimes metals are also called electron seas. Okay, the seas of electrons. And in this case, you can also add free charges, or the number of free charges is negligible. Number of free charges is negligible. So it's a very small thing. Okay, the number of free charges in case of insulators is a very small thing. Such a small thing that you can actually ignore it, which means it cannot allow the passage of current through it. Okay, and some more points I would like to add. If it has so many free charges, so why does not it allows to flow current even if there is no electric field? Because the motion of these charges or these electrons is very random. So even if a charge is going to this going to from this point to this point, it is going to constitute a current, and in the same way another charge is coming from this point to this point, and thus cancelling the amount of current. So the net amount of current, even if these charges are moving randomly, is zero. So you cannot, if there is so much of free charges, you cannot see in a metal the accumulation of charges at some specific part of that substance. Okay, at some specific part of that substance, you are not going to find any accumulation of charges. But in case of insulators, it is opposite. You can find some. You can also find the accumulation of charges at some specific point, but it won't affect the electrical conductivity of that insulator. Okay. So I hope that you have understood the concept of conductors and insulator. So simply, after all these concepts, you can just remember it that conductors allow the passage of current, that is the flow of charges, and insulators, they do not allow the flow of charges, that means they do not allow current to pass through them. It is a simple thing, but there is still a thing remains. What is that thing? Apart from conductors and insulator, there is also a more category of substances. It is the category of semiconductor. Okay, it is the category of semiconductor. Regarding conductivity, whereas metals take the top position, insulator take the bottom positions, and likewise semiconductor takes the places in between them. They consist the properties of both metals and non-metal or insulators sometimes. And the examples of such semiconductor is germanium, silicon, and something like that, which we shall be learning in details in the later chapters of class 12. We have a separate chapters for semiconductor, and even if you want to know it now, you have read something about that in chemistry, in class 11th chemistry, where you were being taught the concept of solid state. So conductor, insulators, and semiconductors. So you do not need semiconductor now. Just remember that semiconductor is the conductivity in the middle range. If we talk about the conductivity, metals take the top position, and insulators or not metals, conductors. Okay, conductors, we are talking about conductors. Okay, conductors, insulators, and semiconductor. If we talk about conductivity, conductors take the top spot, insulators take the bottom spots, whereas semiconductor take the spots in between. Okay, so basically we are interested in learning how a conductor behaves if it is put inside an electric field. So how does it behave if a conductor is put inside an electric field? So now to understand it, let us draw a parallel plate, and this thing you are going to be taught in details in this chapter. Okay, so this is a parallel plate, and this side is a positively charged plate. Okay, this side is a positively charged plate, and this side is a negatively charged plate. Okay, the amount of charges or the density is same in both, and they are of the same dimensions. Now you can actually see, before putting a conductor inside it, just you need to learn the concept of electric field lines. Okay, so electric field lines